Conan O'Brien, welcome back to the Today Show.
Thank you very much for having me, Jake. Appreciate it.
It's been a minute.
Has it?
I think so.
How long has it been?
I don't know, but I just looked up the first time you did the Today Show.
Which would have been 1993? Was it with
Bryant Gumbel?
With Bryant Gumbel.
Do you remember?
I remember that I was starting my late night career. No one knew who I was. Everyone at NBC was like, who is this guy? And so there was a real vibe of what's happening. Because Letterman was leaving, huge, massive star, and they said, don't worry, we have his replacement. His name is Chip Whitley, and he's a complete unknown. And I showed up practically with acne, and I remember Bryant Gumbel, Katie Couric, everybody being very skeptical. And I don't blame them.
You were sitting on this. It wasn't our set. It wasn't in Studio 1A. It was on. It must have been the late night set, or I don't know where it was. But you and Bryant were sitting there. It was almost exactly 32 years ago today. It was
right.
May 4th, 1993.
Wow.
You told him if it didn't work out, you would become a crop duster.
Yes. Yeah. At the time, it's hard to remember because there's so much media now that shows come and go. But at the time, there was very little, there was less television, there was hardly any late night. And so when they announced a new late night host, it was like, and the new pope is, and the choice seemed crazy to everybody. And so it was almost a national question of who is this guy? How long will he last? Even my parents were skeptical. And so it was a crazy time.
You told Bryant you would be walking down the street and people would say, good luck, Conan, good luck, hope it goes well.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it felt like to be that guy?
I remember it so well. I'll never forget. It kind of is probably how a lobster would feel if it was alive but didn't have its shell. I was very scared all the time. I was very aware of the precarious situation I was in. Walking down the street, people would eye me up and down and say, well, I don't know, you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? And that was the tenor of the press, too, was very much, who is this guy? And pretty soon after I debuted, a lot of people said, this man should go away and never be heard from again. So the fact that I'm still here and that you're talking to me is, I think, a good sign.
When you think back, I mean, it's been 32 years since that moment. What have those 32 years been like for you?
Wow. They've been jam-packed with incredible highs, some really dark lows. But I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I know people say that, but I wouldn't change a thing. I've been insanely blessed. I remember being, when I started out my career, sometimes you just say something out loud. You can say it's to God, to the world, to the future, to the heavens. I just said, whatever happens to me, I hope it's interesting. And I got my wish back tenfold. I've had all my dreams come true 75,000 times over. And even the dark moments have had gifts in them. And I'm crazily fortunate. I really am. So I can't remember most of what happened. And I've had many people remind me of things that happened. And I'll say, what? I sang a song with David Bowie? And they'll go, yeah. And I say, no. I'm a huge David Bowie fan. I love David Bowie, but I don't remember singing a song with him. And then they can call it up online and I can see it and I don't have a memory of it.
Why do you think that is?
I think I have a degenerative brain disorder. I think
I'm sorry to hear that.
I think drinking didn't help. I honestly think it's too much. It's just too much. You do a show every day for an hour, and I don't know if you've had this experience as well, but interview. It's a volume business. Over the years, it's like saying to someone, remember that corned beef sandwich you had May 3rd, 1998? Do you remember? And you go, I don't. Well, I have tape. And they show you a tape and you go, wow, that looks like a great corned beef sandwich. And I remember, oh, it looks like I'm really enjoying it, but I don't remember it. But we're not meant to remember all this.
Yeah, but there are, I mean, it's something, when I said you had your first Today Show interview with Bryant Gumbel, you remember the year. Obviously, it's the year that you started the show.
Yeah.
There must be things, though, that are the tentpole moments
of
for you that stick out.
Of course. There are moments where, I mean, my first show September 13th, 1993 is embedded in my brain and all the emotion that went with it. All the different highs, some of the really dark times where I thought, is my career over? Those things are burned into my brain. And the first time we got outside the studio and started traveling the show, I was working in a very small studio in Rockefeller Center, iconic studio, and crowds would come in, and I could tell these crowds really seemed to like the show, and we were getting good press, and some years were going by, and things seemed to be building. And then we went to Chicago and did a week of shows at the Chicago Theater. Crowds around the block, the whole town going crazy. We traveled to Toronto, all of Canada, and I thought, I think we did something here. And that was it's almost like a religious feeling of years and years and years of struggle and pain, and I'm a worrying, and then you have these moments where you're on stage at the Chicago Theater and thousands of people are cheering, and those are stuck in my brain in a good way.
So over these 32 years, you went from worrying about being a crop duster to being awarded the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, the most prestigious award in American comedy.
Yeah.
Letterman gave you the award.
Yeah.
You described it as an Oppenheimer at Los Alamos moment, a nuclear moment.
Yeah.
It was amazing to watch. What was it like to experience?
Just as I said, it's hard to take some things in because they're almost too meaningful, they're very powerful. And when I'm suspicious of awards, there's awards and you try to remember we're on Earth for a short time, it's an award, get over yourself. And I try to have a lot of humility about those things and remember what's really important. I've got a wife, I have children, and I don't know their names, but they tell me they're good kids. But the idea, if you had told me in 1993 that David Letterman is going to hand you an award in Washington, I would have said, that's just not possible. That's not going to happen.
You told an amazing story about sitting at Dupar's here.
Yeah, I was sitting in a Dupar's diner. I talk about it in the Twain special, and I'm unemployed, and I think the year was 1987, and I drove a cruddy 1973 Plymouth Valiant used car.
You were hoping to get hired on Dave's show as a writer.
I wanted to be hired on Dave's show as a writer, and I thought, and this is something I tell young people a lot, I thought my destiny was to be a writer for David Letterman, and I thought it was my only way to the future. Like, here's the yellow brick road, and if I don't follow this yellow brick road, I will not make it to Oz. I didn't get the job. It was between me and one other person, they went with the other person. And it felt like I was on the yellow brick road, and suddenly there was a wall in front of me. And you have these moments in your career, your life, where you think, it's not going to work out for me. And what you learn later on is, no, you needed that wall. That wall was part of it. I know it can sound corny, but had I gotten that job at Dave's show, things may not have worked out for me. It's very hard to explain, but the disappointments are part of the ride, and they're an essential part of the ride.
And then there you were on the stage at the Kennedy Center with him handing you this award, and it was moving to watch. I'm sure it was sort of mind-blowing to experience.
I don't know that I'll have a more meaningful night in my career than I did at the Twain Award. It just had so much meaning for me. And my feeling since then is, well, maybe it is time to be a crop duster now. Like, maybe I should move on. That was...
You described it in your podcast as almost like hearing your eulogy.
Yeah, it is hearing your eulogy, and it was a good eulogy. And so maybe I should just lay low.
Please don't.
Just lay low for a while, but I'm so grateful to all those amazingly talented people that came, and it meant a lot to me that David Letterman was there. It meant the world to me, but it also meant the world to me that all these younger voices came to.
Mulaney and Reggie Watts and Sarah Silverman.
And there's something about, I love meeting these younger comedians who are so funny and so talented, and young talent just lights up my switchboard. I'm just so happy. I feel like comedy's in good hands. There's so many talented people and coming up who are so good, and it's just a delight to see them, to know them, to have a cup of coffee with them.
To have them on your podcast.
To have them on my podcast, yeah, it's a dream.
You talked about during the Twain Prize your love for your family. You talked about your wife and your children who were there with you. You talked about your mom and dad who you lost at the very end of last year within days of each other.
Yeah.
Then the fires happened in LA.
Yeah.
And right after that, you had to go host Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do all of that?
You can do things when you don't have a choice. I think it's an amazing thing. And so I agreed to the Oscars. That was late November. And I talked to Max. I had to call Max and say, is it okay if I do the Oscars? Because I know I owe you these travel shows and we're not quite done yet. And they said, they were lovely. They said, yes, go do the Oscars, but we do want you to shoot, finish that travel show to Austria before you go, start working on the Oscars. So right away we went to Austria. And I was in Austria when my brother Luke called me and said, Dad passed. And I took a van to a plane, to another plane, just different airport hubs, got to Boston, and walk in the room, and my dad's bed is empty, and my mom was in the bed next to him, and I could tell that she was going, which was surreal. And she passed, I think, within 3 days of my dad passing, and then the funeral became a double funeral, and the scramble to get that together, and all the emotions that come with it. And then Christmas, the minute Christmas was over, I was like, okay, you just have to get to work on the Oscars because there's not much time. And the fires hit, and we were evacuated, and we're living in a hotel. Very fortunately, the fire came very close. Our house survived.
But about as close as it can get.
It got as close as it can get. It came to our edge of our backyard. And it's as if Charlton Heston, as Moses, raised a staff and said, enough!
Wow.
Stop! It's eerie how it just stopped. And we were extremely blessed that our house is still there. A lot of people were not as blessed, and it was terrible. But we were very lucky living in a hotel and working on the Oscars, and you got to get this thing together. So we worked here. This is the room that we worked in. These are our offices. So I would basically was in a hotel, and I would come here, and this was our kind of our boiler room.
What did it mean for you to be in this room with so much, I don't want to put words in your mouth, with such heavy experiences happening to you personally at the time?
I have always I get a lot of solace out of being in a writer's room. A writer's room, if I'm a fish, and a writer's room is my tank of tropical water. I love being in a writer's room, and it's really healing to be around. These are very talented writers that work with me on this, on the Oscars. I've known these people for decades, some of them, and they're friends. And so the fact that I'm together with them, it sounds crazy, but it's healing to be in a room with really funny people that know and care about me, and to be working on something that we're trying to make that's positive and life-affirming and silly. So in a way, it was good therapy. And I think one of the things that I wish my parents had been able to see the Oscars, but, you do get that. They got to see a lot. They got to see a lot of cool things. And they were very proud, and so I had the knowledge of knowing that they saw a lot, and it fortified me to know that in some way they'll be with me when I go through this crazy Oscar thing that terrifies everybody.
They seemed like extraordinary people. Your dad was an epidemiologist and your mom was a lawyer?
Yeah, my dad was an infectious disease scientist, and he was working on antibiotic resistance. He started working on it in the late 60s, early 70s, saying antibiotics are great, but I think we might be overusing them. And people went, whatever, cuckoo. And my dad was on it. He was very passionate about it, very, very intelligent, one of the smartest people I've ever met. And my mom she had 6 kids. I'm one of 6. And she was an incredible mom and raised us. And then once we could kind of, we got old enough, I might have been in 5th grade or 4th grade, she went back to work. And she worked as an estate attorney in Boston and had a pretty high-powered job. And she was one of the early women to go to Yale Law School. She was a trailblazer, and so many women have come up to me since my mom passed and said, your mother counseled me, your mother gave me the courage and the belief that, yes, women can inhabit this space. I mean, that was not happening when my mom was working as a lawyer in the late 1950s. It was very unusual. And, both of my parents came from humble backgrounds. They both, came from Irish families that lived in central Massachusetts, and my grandfather was a traffic cop in Worcester, Massachusetts. And my mother and my father achieved everything they achieved on full scholarships. And so I always try and remember that I'm here getting to live this dream life because of generations of people before me who worked their tails off, and were also honorable, moral people. So it's really good to be connected to this legacy of, I've got to live up to what these people did and sacrificed so that I get to do this. It's insane.
I didn't even ask you about, and all the crazy things that happened leading up to the Mark Twain Prize. The election preceded everything else that I already mentioned.
Yeah.
And in your acceptance of the award, which was bestowed upon you by the Kennedy Center of a previous administration, not the current administration, you talked about Twain in the political context. I thought it was really powerful. You said he was a patriot in the best sense of the word. He loved America, but knew it was deeply flawed.
Yeah.
And you went on to quote him saying, patriotism is supporting your country all of the time and your government when it deserves it.
Yeah.
Why did you want to make that point?
I wanted to make that point because, in my opinion, if you're going to accept an award that's named after somebody, we need to know who that person was. And Mark Twain can be thought of as a caricature, meaning we all know the mustache and the hair.
The Will Forte character.
The Will Forte character. Mark Twain can become almost an emoji to us. And you have to understand who he was. And what made Mark Twain so enduring and so powerful is that he was questioning. He questioned power, and he was uneasy. He loved America. He was a great patriot, clearly, but also he was uneasy when America, he was uneasy about people having too much money in the Gilded Age. He was very uneasy about American imperialism in the Philippines. He was uneasy about America flexing its might or appearing, just blindly waving the flag without thinking about what it means. And I thought it was important to make that point because we're certainly in a time right now, I'm not a political comedian, but just as a citizen, we have to remember, I'm a history buff, this is a democratic experiment. It's an experiment, which means it's always in play. It's always in question. And we have to be vigilant, and we have to make sure that the values that we're most proud of in America are preserved.
He also, you highlighted what he had to say and his fondness for travel, for getting out and seeing other parts of the world, which seems like such a big part of your life these days.
Yeah, I think Mark Twain, there's a great quote that I mentioned in the speech, which I can't remember, but Mark Twain basically said he thinks travel is the best education.
And combats small-mindedness.
And it combats small-mindedness because when you travel, you are put in a vulnerable position. If you're from another country and I go to your country, you're in your power zone. It's your country. I'm the interloper. I don't speak the language. I don't know the customs. And it's very humbling, and humbling in a good way. And humble's a good thing. You know, this chest thumping and bravura is I think, silly. It's good to be humble. It's good to think, gee, I think I know a lot of things, but I could know so much more, and I could learn from other people. And so that's why I love these travel shows, is that I prefer the joke to be on me. I like to go places where often people from other countries, maybe they don't know who I am, but they're laughing at me, or they're finding me to be silly. And those are the things that it almost feels like a kind of diplomacy to say, hi, I'm an American, and you're free to find me ridiculous.
Have at me.
Have at me. I will try to do your ceremonial dance, or I will try to eat your ceremonial food, or I'll try to honor the ceremonial custom. And if I get it wrong, feel free to laugh at me, because the joke is on me.
You've been so consistent in that messaging or philosophy. We were all sharing your sign-off from The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your message in the sign-off from The Tonight Show in some way. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you probably, I don't know if you remember it by heart, but I think there's a lot of people out there do.
Yeah.
Please don't be cynical. And I hate cynicism. For the record, it's my least favorite quality. It doesn't lead anywhere. Nobody in life gets exactly what they thought they were going to get, but if you work really hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen.
I believe that still, yeah. I think, man, who was that guy? That guy was smart.
Some version of what you just said to me.
Well, you know, it's funny, I have certain principles and ideas that I can't always articulate, and I'm just always constantly working at it. I'm a work in progress. We're all works in progress, and I'm trying with these crazy opportunities that I've been given. I mean, I need to stress, I work very hard, and I think I have some ability, but no one's had more luck than I've had. I've had an insane amount of luck. I really have. And I just look at the people I come from, the people I mentioned, my ancestors, people that, I mean, I've stood on the ground, I've stood on the plot of earth where my great-great-grandfather decided, I gotta leave Ireland because I can't make it work here. There's no money, there's no food, and I need to go. And he left, and he came to America and moved to central Massachusetts. And then generation of people working hard and having good values. And then I get to do this. It is a great gift. And I think I have a lot of empathy for people that come from other countries and come to our country and work so hard to make something, because I know that's where all of us come from.
Yeah.
We're all related to immigrants who came here and were scared out of their minds.
Do you ever watched back your Tonight Show sign off?
No, never have.
Never once.
No, I can't do it. It's too. I'm proud of it, but I can't. I don't. It was just a lot. It was a lot, and that was a moment where I really did think, I don't know. It's probably maybe it's over for me. I really did.
But it's so amazing what you've done since then. I mean, I think groundbreaking is a objectively accurate term, or genre bending. You've got the podcast and the travel show and the stand-up tour that you did, and taking late night to cable. How do you think that you did all that in the wake of losing the Tonight Show?
I think I have something in me that's kind of insatiable. I like to make stuff. So there's something in me that likes to make stuff. And I like to make people laugh. I get a lot of joy out of making people laugh. And when we wrap this up and go and get coffee next door, if I can make the person at the counter laugh, I'm happy. And that counts as much to me as making someone on the podcast laugh, or someone in the Chicago theater where there's 5,000 people laugh. It all kind of feels the same to me. If I can make a kid who doesn't know who I am laugh, who's 5 years old, I get that same burst of adrenaline. I like it. It gives me great pleasure. So I think it was that drive to, all right, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I'm going to still do this thing I do and look for new ways to do it. And I've been very, very blessed with having good people around me, smart people, a lot of young people who told me, hey, you should go on Hot Ones. I'm like, what's Hot Ones? Go on Hot Ones. Okay.
It was a seminal moment, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, for my intestines it was, but also I think for...
Was it as bad as it looked?
Yeah, later. There was some damage done. I lost 5 years of life, but when I think I'm being funny, or when I'm in the, whatever it is, a flow state, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is, or just babbling like an idiot, when I'm in that moment, I'm not thinking, and I'll do anything. It's dangerous, because I will do anything. And if Sean of Hot Ones had handed me battery acid at that point, I'd have swigged it, because I thought, like, well, that'll make people laugh, and then dealt with the consequences later on.
It was incredible to watch. You have a new season of Conan O'Brien Must Go about to drop. What's Conan O'Brien's take on America's standing in the world from doing so much travel all around the globe?
The good news is that pretty much everywhere I've traveled in the world, I've experienced nothing but goodwill towards America. People, and even I've been to countries, I went to Haiti after they had been insulted by our president, and I still encountered goodwill towards America.
Even after the country's remark.
Yeah, I'd like Americans to know that there is a lot of goodwill towards America and Americans. We may be testing the limits of that at times, but I do think throughout the world, and I'm just speaking from my travel, my limited travel and my limited experience, but there is a belief that for the most part, Americans' hearts are in the right place. That's the sense I get. And have I been everywhere? No, I haven't. But America, like any country, is flawed. We're imperfect, but we have done a lot of great things. We have done a lot to, I mean, just think about World War II alone, World War I, World War II. There have been a lot of ways in which we've tried to make a difference and tried to help and tried to promote democracy and freedom. So there's good principles, and then of course there are ways it can go off off the rails. So after all this time, I'm very impressed that for the most part, people are well disposed, I think, towards Americans. That's the feeling I get.
Did you ever watch Huell Hauser? Do you remember Huell Hauser, the
Yes.
public television
Yes.
legend?
Yeah.
This stuff in the field gives me such Huell Hauser vibes. Huell Hauser was my idol.
Well, you know, it's funny,
He was-
accidents, mistakes, you know, people who don't understand how this medium works. One of the things I love about going out in the field and doing these shows in other countries is that if you didn't know any better, you'd think, just make sure you don't make a mistake. The great thing I've found about comedy is that mistakes are gold.
Mm-hmm.
And when I grew up, it was when something went wrong when Johnny Carson was the funniest. Something going wrong is when you see a real human being in action responding to a real problem. So when I'm out in the world, in these different countries, encountering these people and awkward moments happen, they're the funniest thing.
Absolute best.
It's the best because it wasn't planned, it's not a bit, it's not a prop, there's not a script. I'm standing there, and one of my favorite moments, I think I was in Ghana. This was a couple of years ago. I was in Ghana, and some guy's talking to me, this, you know, very good-looking man from Ghana. He's talking to me, and he's looking at me, and he's a little curious, and he's looking at my face and my skin, and then he more or less is asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" and he's looking at the freckles, and he can see the veins because I'm so freaking pale, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, and I said, the freckles, you like the freckles? He's like, I don't think so. and it was such a nice moment. I've had that moment in Haiti too, where all these beautiful young boys and girls gather around, and I have a short sleeve shirt on, and they're looking at my skin, and they're basically saying, "What's wrong with you?" And I love anytime it's so sweet and funny that those kids are finding me physically ridiculous because I look like this.
Just watching you figure it out, the episode you did in Argentina where she's explaining to you that you kiss everyone when you leave.
Yeah.
And you go around and you kiss.
I'm kissing people and they don't know what I'm doing.
And also you're kissing on both sides of the face, and she's trying to explain to you, no, you're supposed to kiss on one side of the face.
Yeah, I know. I love it when the reaction shots. My favorite thing is people in other countries going, what? You know, and it could be Japan, it could be Germany. It's people thinking, oh, this poor fool, we hope he makes it back to America safely. And that's the essence of the kind of comedy I like to do.
We all hope that too. We're glad that you make it home every time.
I hope so too.
Anywhere you want to go that you haven't been yet?
Obviously, yeah.
What's at the top of your list?
I mean, there are countries right now where it might not be wise to go. I've always wanted to go to Russia. I'm fascinated by history. I've read a lot of Russian history. The Russian people fascinate me. And I've long wanted to go to Russia. I want to go to India. I've been to India once, and I was so struck by the beauty of the people and the culture, and just the richness of the history. So yes, there's so many places I still want to go, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see these places. You know, my father, in his work as a scientist, traveled a lot, and he used to take me with him. And it was not glamorous travel. This is, you know, this is a research scientist getting some grant money, and us traveling to, we went all the way through South America, and we were rushing to the airport constantly, and the furthest thing from luxury travel you can imagine as a kid. But I saw a lot, and it really got me interested in other people, other cultures, and getting outside of our little world.
Do you have of the episodes you've done so far and the podcasts you've done so far, top guest, top travel destination?
Well, my favorite guests so far, I mean, we've had some great guests in the travel shows, but Javier Bardem joined me in Madrid, and he is one of the funniest people you can hang out with. He's brilliantly funny. I mean, he's a Oscar-winning serious actor. He's a movie star. He's an icon. And he's a hilarious improv partner and does not take himself seriously. And he was just a joy. And I was nervous about taking up too much of Javier's time. So I thought, okay, Javier, let's go to the Prado Museum and let's do like these one or two things and be like, no, man, we must keep going. We must do more. Conan, hurry. We must now go to this and we must get in a boat and we must row a boat. Oh, Conan, I had another idea. We should go across town and take, lessons and dance lessons. And he was insatiable. And I kept trying to remind him, you're an Oscar-winning actor.
He said, let's go.
He was down for everything and just a beautiful soul. Creative, artistic, funny, and I'm so excited for people to see that side of Javier.
And the pod, favorite guest so far?
Well, I mean, I can't say there's one favorite guest
because 400 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, there's different categories of favorite. There are guests who just make me laugh till I cry. Just some of the funniest comedians in the world, and also people who are. It's impossible for me to single out one comic. One of the more surreal moments was Al Pacino, because I'm a massive fan of the Godfather films. I grew up on those films. I know those films chapter and verse, and I've watched every Al Pacino movie. Al Pacino was at the top of the list for me. And when Al Pacino walked into the podcast room and started giggling at nonsense I was saying, my soul left my body and was like looking at me, looking at Al Pacino, observing this whole thing. So definitely a crazy moment.
I'll let you go soon, but before
Please don't.
do,
I have nowhere to go, and I have nothing else to do.
I love this. I'll stay here all day long.
Yeah.
You're going to run it back at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Why'd you say yes so quickly?
Because I had a really good time, and I thought, let's not play around. They asked me right away, and I said yes. Now I know the lay of the land, and I'd like to go again and have a little more time and maybe a little less chaos in my life.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of work, but it was a really great experience. It was a joyous experience. And so it's like I went to a great party, I had a really good time, and then they said, would you like to come back next year to the same party? Why would I say, let me think about it?
Are you already thinking about what you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't ask.
And I won't tell.
I know. I've watched enough of your interviews to know that. When after The Tonight Show, you went on tour, you did a comedy tour, and it was called the Legally Prohibited from Being Funny on Television tour.
Right.
Eventually you went back to TV on cable.
Yeah.
But then you did the pod, you've done streaming. You see a world where you ever go back to television?
Well, it's funny, I don't even know what television is anymore. And I by that I mean all the lines are blurred. So an example is, I go to do this podcast 5 years ago. I start doing the podcast, and it's just me and my voice. This is after being on television, network television, with one of the big shows for years and years and years. I start doing it, and then before too long, people said, this is doing really well, this podcast. It's great. Do you mind if we put some cameras in? Just locked off cameras, just to have video record of it. And I said, I don't see a problem with that. So we do that. And then they start putting that on the internet. And then they said, that's doing really well. It would be really great if you did these in front of an audience, these podcasts in front of an audience. And I said, okay. So we start booking some theaters and we do them in front of live audiences. And then someone said, it'd be really good if you had some music, if you had a band. I said, great, let's get some of the band back. The next thing you know, I'm backstage. There's a big crowd. There's cameras.
Feels familiar.
We're back where we started. And people are on the street are telling me, oh my God, I saw that footage of you talking to Kevin Neal. And I'm like, when? 1995, 1997? No, 2 weeks ago. So what's television, what's not television? I mean, I watched the show Severance. I'm a big fan of that show on Apple, and that's cinema to me. That's a movie. It's an immersive movie experience. It's made beautifully. So what's television? And most movies are on your television screen, streaming within 3 weeks of coming out. So I don't know what a return to TV would look like. I mean, this might just be my return to television.
The Today Show.
The Today Show. And
have you ruled out morning television?
Yeah, no. Hell, no. I get to drink coffee on camera.
Easy.
And have some banter, and then we can talk to a weatherman.
Al Roker.
How is Al doing?
He's doing great. He's doing great.
Tell Al I said hi.
Al, Conan says hi.
Al, I think he has caller ID because I call him all the time. He doesn't pick up.
I'm sorry.
Is he that way with you too?
He'll respond to a text occasionally.
I always want to know, is there a low pressure system moving in? I mean, I could check my watch, but I want to hear it from Al.
It's always better to hear it from Al.
I think so. It's more reassuring.
Conan O'Brien, thank you so much.
This was a joy. It was really fun talking to you.
Thank you.
And please, my love to everyone at my old stomping ground. You know, NBC, Today's Show. It's a beautiful place to work.
Come back anytime.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.